Which MMO should you waste your life on in 2026?
It's the new year. The games industry is collapsing, the cost of living is going up, and if you are the average viewer of this channel, according to YouTube statistics, you've accepted you'll never own a house. Social media is imploding over a...
Damn, yo, has anybody in the chat accepted you'll never own a house? That shit's kind of crazy. You gotta be like a millionaire to buy a house, bro. You gotta be crazy with it. I don't know. I mean, in America, the house market is kind of effed. Our parents used to be able to buy a house for like 60K. Nowadays, a cheap house is like 500K and the wages haven't gone up across the board. House market has gone up times 10 and the wages haven't moved.
A bot infestation, brain rot slop is now the fastest growing content type, and the continued rise of AI means you're never sure if a beautiful picture is human or machine made, leaving you with a small but permanent shard of cynicism and reducing your ability to find joy in the world. So how do we deal with this situation? That's right, we dive headfirst into a virtual world and forget our real life problems. Why look at the mess of reality when you could instead look at Lune's feet? The problem with most video games is they eventually end, which means you're going to have to face the harsh light of existence again at some point, even if you replay them. You're just delaying the inevitable. I mean, there's only so many times you can play through Cyberpunk until it gets boring and repetitive, and that amount of times is slightly less than one. But what if there were a genre of game which didn't end, which not only allowed you to become hopelessly addicted to it, but actively encouraged it? A genre with the most monotonous and mind-numbing repetitive content design you could ever imagine, but my god, it
RuneScape!
Watching number go up.
Let's go!
No further than MMORPGs, a genre with hundreds of games and about 5 of them actually matter, and several will probably have died by the time
Warcraft!
you watch this video. Marvel as your social life gets reduced to an ever-shrinking online
MMO
friends list, and
hype.
your free time is replaced with grinding gear for minuscule upgrades and an awkward guild chat with people you'll never meet and probably never
Thank you for the
want
tier
to.
1.
The dungeon conversations will be varied. Are you helping a 55-year-old woman through her third divorce, or talking to a teenager who's using slang you don't recognize because you're too old? Who knows? Trick question. It's neither, because...
Chat, how are some people getting divorced multiple times? I can't even get divorced once. Ah.
The real guild chat is in a Discord channel you're not invited to. MMORPGs allow you to feel the fleeting pleasure of progress in this dark world, and all they ask is an unreasonable amount of time and sometimes your money, and my god if it isn't totally worth it. Touching grass is for losers who don't have a flying mount. But with so many online worlds offering everything from dozens of hours of repetitive content to hundreds of hours of repetitive content, how do you know which game should replace your personality? The truth is they all suck in their own magical way, but which one sucks in a way you can personally live with? Well, dear viewer, that's what I'm here to help you find out. Hello, I'm Josh Strife Hayes, MMORPG reviewer and professionally terminally online person, here to guide you through the microtransaction-filled parasocial jungle of online games. I'm going to break down which MMORPGs are still online, why they would appeal to you, and why they wouldn't. Then, when you are fully informed, you can go and download one and begin your...
Dude, is this on ×2 or is he just talking like that? Playback speed normal.
A new adventure of sitting in your chair and replacing actual life achievements with in-game achievements. Trust me, they are much more impressive. Actual degrees get more useless by the day, while max capes, they only appreciate in value as more teleports get added. So which is really investing in your future? A big thank you to all these people on Patreon who support the channel and allow me to keep not touching grass, and Gamer Subs for making sure I never need to drink unflavored water again. More info on how you can support and buy Gamer Subs at the end. For now, let's begin. If you have decided Meet Space...
Guys, RuneScape really is the only MMO. And I say that because it's the only MMO that you'll never lose progress that is also getting updates. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying? It's the only MMO that you never lose progress that is still getting updates.
This is a bit too much and you want to jack into the Matrix like a slightly out of shape Neo, you could consider the following new adventures. World of Warcraft.
That has an active player base, a active development team, and actually a good game with a solid player base.
Call of Duty, Love Island, AI-generated country songs. Sometimes popular things are popular for a reason, and that reason is people are simple creatures served by the bare minimum, and the bar of human creativity is in hell. World of Warcraft is a love story between the members of the Horde and the Alliance, and follows the classic story construction framework of enemies to friends, to enemies to friends, to enemies to friends, to enemies to lovers, to friends, to enemies to kind of friends, and then the jailer happened and everyone stopped even pretending this made sense, and just let that one writer live out his Sylvanas fanfiction on a global scale. World of Warcraft is made by Blizzard, who have done some rather dodgy stuff in the...
Guys, that was the lore of World of Warcraft on the Horde and the Alliance. Because everyone makes fun of how the Horde and the Alliance used to hate each other, and then they had to team up to defeat other enemies so many times that nobody really knows if they hate or love each other anymore.
past, then everyone knows that playing a game means endorsing and supporting everything the company has ever or will ever do, so make the decision to play carefully. World of Warcraft uses the tried and tested tab targeting system where you rotate through your combat abilities by pressing the numbered keys on the keyboard, with complexities of classes ranging from preschooler playing 3 blind mice on a Casio keyboard to Phil Collins on crack playing the only good bit from In the Air Tonight like the drums owed him money. Playing World of Warcraft is like eating mac and cheese or drinking light beer. You won't shock anyone by saying you do it and enjoy it, but excessive amounts of any of those things will result in the same lifestyle, sedentary and smelling faintly of cheese. Guild Wars 2. Do you hate monthly fees, challenging content, or the feeling of progression? Then you might love Guild Wars 2. Buy once, play forever. Loads of classes, loads of maps, and about 3 different gameplay loops scattered over all of them. You'll go from killing 10 easy enemies to killing 10 other easy enemies in a different place, to sometimes even killing 10 even easier enemies in another even more different place. Does this game have a death animation? I don't know. Neither will you. Guild Wars 2 is the epic story of how many times you can click the skip to end button in cutscenes and then kill some story bosses while you try and figure out what's going on, give up and watch a YouTube recap instead. The game focuses on horizontal progression instead of vertical, which means instead of getting better, more powerful equipment as you play, you'll just get different equipment, meaning you stay about as strong as you started but look slightly worse as time goes on. Recommending Guild Wars 2 to someone is like recommending they drink water and stretch in the morning. You both know it's probably a fine idea, but it's just kind of bland, and you know it'll always be an option when you eventually find the time. Elder Scrolls Online. Remember Skyrim? The game which came out 15 years ago, and then 10 years ago, and then 7 years ago, and then 5 years ago, and then 2 years ago, and probably this year, and in 3 years' time, and then again forever until we all die? Yeah, well, wouldn't it be fun if it was online? Amazingly, somehow, no. The Elder Scrolls Online is the journey through an epic story fighting as one of 3 factions and answering such questions as, what if there was an Elder Scrolls game where you couldn't be a stealth archer, or can Bill Nye voice act, or can you make a combat system worse than Skyrim? The answer to all these questions is yes. ESO is an amazing experiment in being everything I could possibly want in an MMORPG on paper, and yet somehow the experience of actually playing it is the gaming equivalent of eating marshmallows. I know I'm definitely doing something, but it's not nutritious, and if I keep going, I'm going to feel sad in the morning. This is another buy once, play forever game, but you'll...
Some of these references are an actual bar. Dude, this is funny, man. Josh Strife Hayes is spitting right now.
Also want to pay for the monthly optional sub or your character forgets how to use their own pockets. There's also an in-game cash shop in case you wanted to throw even more money at it for some reason, and if you've already bought Skyrim 5 times, you may as well buy the Elder Scrolls Online. Start the game in Vardenfell, remember how good Morrowind is, then go and download and replay that instead. Final Fantasy XIV. Remember the time the weird kid in high school told you to watch Naruto and you tried it and it was boring and they said, don't worry, it gets good 100 episodes in, you just need to keep going. This is the gaming equivalent of that. Final Fantasy XIV is the epic experiment about how many catgirls a game needs to make everyone forget that pacing is a literary structure and should be used when delivering a story. From the opening moments you begin your journey to become the hero of light and then later the hero of darkness, and achieving both
I played Final Fantasy one time and everyone said that same exact thing he just said. They're like, just wait until the 3rd expansion. The story gets good. But I don't give a damn about the story. I just want to play the game. So I ended up quitting.
Guess makes you the hero of soft ambience. The game was historically so bad on launch, they blew it up and started all over again, and now it's quite good, with gameplay spanning from some of the most intense, sweaty, and demanding fights you'll ever be in to some of the most intense, sweaty, and demanding erotic roleplay you'll be forced to be in, because Limsa Lominsa is a godless place. Final Fantasy XIV is, in all honesty, a well-made game. It's just a shame that downloading it and buying it needs a degree in puzzle solving, and working out how the hell you actually give them your money is like solving a saw trap while wearing catgirl paws, then good luck if you want to use the MOG station. In fact, it may be the only MMORPG game to solve the cash shop problem by just making the cash shop obtusely difficult to access. Also, the free trial where you can play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, which you'll need to because it gets good later on. Old School RuneScape.
It is kind of confusing to even use your money in that game, now that I think about it. It took me forever to figure out you could buy a character skip and skip the whole MSQ and just be max level. But if you tell people as a streamer that you're going to do that, they literally riot because you're skipping the best part of the game, which is the story. So you will be called out for it.
Are you too sexy and also cool? Then you might fit in with the Old School RuneScape crew. Old School RuneScape is a game which spent its entire budget on gameplay and quests, and then remembered a game needs graphics, so said screw it, 12 polygons will have to do, and my god, they were right. In case you wonder where all the muscular guys and hot e-girls, rock stars, porn stars, and sports stars had gone, they're here in Gelenor, clicking on trees for thousands of hours, so one day they can click on a slightly different coloured tree. Watching somebody play Old School RuneScape is the digital equivalent of watching somebody on heroin. They might not look like they're doing much, but in their own head they're having the best time. They will ask you if you want to join in, and it's essential for your health that you...
Hey, no way, brother. Is watching me play RuneScape the same thing as watching somebody in heroin just tripping out in their chair? I never thought about it like that. I'm over here having the best time, huh?
Say no. Old School RuneScape came to dominate content creation with some of the most interesting playthrough series ever made, despite looking like this, which proves it really is what's inside that counts. And if you look inside RuneScape, you'll find endless amounts of passion, complexity, and most importantly, autism. RuneScape 3. Did you start playing RuneScape back when it launched and now you're too invested in your one character to switch over to the old school version because you've got rare items which won't transfer over and you don't want to get a completionist cape again? Then just keep playing RuneScape 3. The more modern version of the game which nobody thinks of when you say RuneScape, RuneScape 3 is actually quite a good game if you ignore the cash shop, which incredibly Jagex decided to do when they vastly reduced the amount of microtransactions and cash shop buyables. So you know what? Play it for that alone to show that we as a community support that kind of business decision. Also, dungeoneering is a skill, not a minigame. Fight me. EverQuest. Do your knees
It is
hurt?
a skill.
Do you make a sound when bending over to pick things up? Does sleeping funny put you out of commission for a week? Trick question. You're watching a video about MMOs, so I know the answer to all of them is yes. But did you know that unlike you, EverQuest is still healthy and still going strong? Do you miss reading and forums?
Low key, he just said every MMO is dull except for RuneScape, and it's pretty much the only one you should play. Am I decoding this correctly?
Or when games didn't hold your hand? Do you want to try and convince your friends it's a good game to play, despite the fact they have functioning eyes and have owned a console since the Commodore 64? Well, come on over to Norath. We have such thrilling gameplay designers sitting and waiting for your mana to recharge while your friends desperately try and convince you to play something newer than teletext. EverQuest truly is.
He said it's like heroin, though? No, he didn't.
Is the most popular MMORPG according to Ask Jeeves.
What?
Warframe. Remember Unreal Tournament? Imagine what that game would be if it was actually ninjas in space and also free and just goddamn awesome in every way. That's Warframe. Warframe tells the epic tale of how actually the plot gets good after the second Dream Quest, but you won't care because shooting...
Guys, he said it's the equivalent of watching... He said watching someone play RuneScape is the equivalent of watching someone that's on heroin. They're not doing much, but they're having a great time. That is not saying playing RuneScape is like heroin. You guys understand that, right?
Things with a magical sci-fi bow is fun, and the shock reveal that you're actually a child soldier piloting this thing doesn't really matter because you are still going to shoot as many things with as many magical sci-fi arrows as you can.
He did say
Warframe never
autism.
really got the attention it deserves because the developers spent all their time and energy focusing on making a good game and forgot to add a little thing called a marketing budget. So finding Warframe is like watching Kung Fu Hustle for the first time and wondering how the hell more people don't know about this because it was everything you ever wanted. Warframe is only free because they're too busy making the game they've forgotten they could charge for it, so let's all just agree to not remind them. Eve, are you just inherently better than other people? Does your intimate knowledge of the difference between fedoras and trilbies scare people away? Was it really not just a phase, Mum? This is who you are. Then you may like Eve. A game of competitive spreadsheets dipped in a sticky sci-fi sauce, you can spend hours wedged into your crusty battle station chair listening to the Rasmus and learning every Excel function just to ruin someone's day a little bit more efficiently. Eve is the epic space conquest game where you can do everything from mine asteroids to grief other people who are trying to mine asteroids. You can be a stealthy smuggler or a diplomatic dickhead as you attempt to explain to someone for the 5th time why Babylon 5 is better than the next generation, and they continue to ignore you, wondering how long until you write a manifesto or
What
leave your
are
cave
some
to
of
go and
these
play your
MMOs?
monthly competitive Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. There are so many other amazing online worlds like Star Wars The Old Republic,
Oh my
which
God, I
wants
used
you
to
to
play
remember
that.
when Star Wars was good, or Lord of the Rings Online, which wants you to remember that it exists. You've got action games like Neverwinter, or extreme classics like Meridian 59, or failures like New World. And all of them offer a unique magical experience, and yet also all of them are somehow exactly the same, except New World because it's dead. So go out, download an MMORPG, play it, and see if it fills the void in your life, because it just might. Then let it immerse you, become your personality, become soulbound to it, and then critique anyone else for daring to play a different game because they are wrong
I'm out of that Gillenor shit. We're going New World style.
and you are right. Your virtual world is better than their virtual world, and until they've played 1,000 hours of your game, they wouldn't understand its nuanced brilliance, which is absolutely a judgment you can make, even though you've only played an hour of their game. So let me know which virtual world you are a citizen of in the comments and why your world is clearly the best, and I look forward to not reading any of them. Thank you to the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who allow me to make videos like this. You can support from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and how to buy gamer subs. And as always, have a great day.
Yo, dope ass video. Did he talk about... He talked about WoW in the beginning. Yeah, he did. It really sounds like he was kind of promoting old school RuneScape there of all the MMOs. He did say everyone that plays RuneScape, old school RuneScape is autistic, and they're all trying to hit one different color tree until they can hit another different color tree. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. And it's crazy how like the simplest game made one of, in my opinion, the best MMOs ever. Maybe the best MMO ever. It is counter. It is counter to what all these other MMOs have tried to do, but I feel like MMOs have just gone backwards, and they had it right. They had it right at first. Like, they got it right the first time with MMOs. It's one of the only genres that evolved backwards over the course of 20 years. And I still find myself playing RuneScape and Classic WoW. Those are the only two worth playing. And it's sad that it happened that way, but that's just how it happened. Good ass video. The old school team is very smart in the way they handled the community. Yeah, absolutely. I heard New World is pretty good. Damn, should I try New World? It's not too late, right?